Good evening. Welcome to Astrology Throwdown tonight. Why Astrology Throwdown? Because we are celebrating the alignment between Mars and Neptune. The throwdown, obviously, is the Mars part, and the astrology part could be Neptune. It's in Pisces. So, what's going on right now? The most important question in all the world, especially for me, is Napoleon among us? That would be wonderful for me. I hope if I can get out of being quarantined as a perfectly healthy person, because I know better than to accept medical care from the group that's hijacked our government, the ones that did 9/11, the enemy within. They bribe our government, and then they uh, invent rules, invent stories, and they can't prove that the story they've been telling is true in any way. And I can prove backwards and forwards, left and right, from north to south and east to west, that everything that they've been doing is a bunch of lies and trickery, PR tricks. And we can watch them dance so fast and come out with all their psyops and come out with all their news stories to distract you and to get celebrities involved. And it's all so you won't see who they all work for. And we all know who they all work for. And what I have been trying to show through my natal chart is that I have themes of fate and destiny where it looks like I explained it in detail yesterday. If you're interested, I discussed my yod. And in this yod, which is known as a finger of God, or people think of it as some sort of conflict that the holder of the chart has to go through to get to the next level. I guess they could just not do anything their whole life. But potentially, if they want to rise to the occasion, do the hero's journey, and they're me, they're going to end up having to deal with this yod, which is in the middle of my chart. And I put my chart up again today on the astrology report because it's not just that I want to explain my chart. I also want to explain my motivation because I have gotten so many people so mad at me. All I've done is tell the truth. And when I was wrong, I immediately cleared up where I was wrong. So, to my knowledge, I'm telling you the truth. And if I find that I'm a mistaken, I'll let you know. All I have done is tell the truth. But we're in an atmosphere that's just so deeply dishonest that just the littlest bit of truth shatters lives. It's so dishonest right now. So I want people to see that I have an unusually afflicted chart and I'm unusually kind of tied up and constrained before this. Right now, I'm under, my life has been completely shut down because I can't travel, I can't go do all kinds of things now because this one banker that's been after me, who sent me all these agents, he sent thugs to my house. How do I know that this one banker has been trying to destroy my life? Definitely since 2018, someone turned my numbers off. My Wikipedia was taken down. Um, and I just so happen to be permanently quarantined as a perfectly healthy person. I find it very hard to believe that all of the other harassment, intimidation that I've received from this one banker from England, um, I find it very hard to believe that my permanent quarantine as a perfectly healthy person, because I know better than to participate in Nazi-type human experiments. Of course, it's from him. No one else has the money. No one else has the power to invent this story and then to somehow land it at my house. So it's him. We all know it's him. We all know what his name is. This is the easiest blind item in the world. It's Mr. Burns. They've been telling you your whole life that the world is run by Mr. Burns. So figure out who Mr. Burns is. Mr. Burns is a stand-in for the person who's been trying to destroy my life since 2018. And I want everyone to know exactly who he is. Why don't I say his name? because, 0.0001, I could be wrong, and I would hate to falsely accuse anyone. So if the shoe fits, let him wear it. And I'm not telling you his name, but it's so obvious. So this is a wonderful time to really get out there, be assertive, and like push your spirituality forward and stand up for what's right and stand up for empathy, because I can't have him destroying all the children either. I can't have him killing everybody. I can't have him doing all kinds of things. I have to stand up and let everybody know it's this one person. He is the king of his dynasty, and he has a cult. And his cult is deeply criminal in nature. And they have all these cute little games they play. And they say, "How dare you? What about the children? It's for your own good." They have all these things that they say, but it's really a bunch of criminals who lie all the time. And they'll do anything to keep their cult leader rich. And that's how it works, because when their cult leader is rich, then they're rich too. And that makes them happy because all they really care about is money. And who cares what happens, because the rest of us are just animals to them. Am I wrong? Am I wrong anywhere, my agent friends? I don't think so. I really do err on the side of caution. I will even say, on my way down to my basement, I did feel them. Ooh! They get together and they set their intentions, and then they send their energy, and I send it right back to them, greatly amplified every time. They should know better by now, because spiritually, they're so, I don't want to insult them too much, but the word parasitical comes to mind. They don't really have their own energy, so they have to steal it. But on our side, we can get energy easily. And that's the big advantage. And that's why they don't want us to understand our spirituality correctly. So we won't understand. We have all the power. They just siphon off what they can from us. So they act like they're so much better than we are, but we're the ones with the energy. Where am I wrong? So I would like to continue to explain what's going on with my chart, but I would also like to let people know that there are some really powerful transits for us. For example, Mercury is sextile with Jupiter. This is a lucky time to communicate. This is a great time to expand your thinking, expand your communication, to look at the big picture. We can communicate well. We can help each other. We can help each other learn. And this is a great expression of Jupiter's sextile, which is a pleasant aspect with Mercury. We're talking about astrology. Astrology is a great thing to know about. And Jupiter does rule astrology. And we're talking about it. And we're thinking about it. And we're going to go to the next level, because we're going to understand the power that we have. It's all ours. And no banker can come along and threaten or bribe or seduce or anything. They can't do anything about it. It's all yours. Bankers don't have to get involved in it. That's why the religions are so subverted. They can't have us knowing that we have the power. We really do. Their power is to steal our power. Not arguable. So know that. And the other thing that's going on astrologically with Jupiter is that Mars and Neptune are so near it, and it's almost aligned, and it's happening between Aries and Pisces. So it's everything for saving the world. We can save the world right now. And this is happening in a very sensitive spot in my chart. Obviously, I'm a part of this whole thing. This saving the world alignment is happening in my moon in Pisces in the 12th house. Okay, so my moon, so that's my feelings, and my feelings are completely rule me. I don't really care about anything besides my feelings. I'm just a slave to my feelings practically. And I'm a double Pisces feeling. So my feelings are, that's why I can't deal with them. I have too many feelings. So that's my Mars situation. said that wrong. My moon is double Pisces. And then I have this spiritual war configuration on that. Please look at my chart on the astrology report. If you want to see it a little clearer, you can see the moon in the 12th house in Pisces. And it is, it's the most afflicted moon you could possibly imagine. It's opposite Pluto. So that's like abuse, bipolar, totally unstable emotionally. Okay. That's the, so remember that. Moon, opposition, Pluto. Just think about how horribly painful and grueling that is to live with. Oh, that's just the start. Sun Pisces, so sensitive, so easy to hurt. And then Pluto, and where Libra, art, culture, but it's an intercepted, trapped Libra. I can never like get along with someone as a peer. It's like my relationships can't be balanced. So I have that intercepted Libra in the sixth house. It's terrible. It's really horrible, and it's really nothing I can do about it. I just have to like accept that my relationships are going to be horribly painful and unequal, and it's going to be so painful, and it's going to hurt me so bad. That's the aspect. And I can do my best with that, but like I have to accept that it's there and it does affect me and it is real. So what's the best thing I can do with being the most anguished, suffering, emotionally tormented person imaginable? I can do this. See what I'm saying? If I'm going to be in that much pain, I might as well do something good with it. This is truly me trying to make the best of a horrible chart. So understand, I'm compelled to do these things. I can't just not do them. I look at my chart. It forces me to do things just to survive. I have to fight my way through life. I have this Mars and Aries on my ascendant. It's so afflicted. And then my moon, I didn't even get started on my moon. My moon is also square Saturn. Okay, that's more abuse. I've been totally abused constantly. It's horrible. It's like if anybody has any abuse in them, it will find its way to me. It's crazy. I see people abusive with me that are not abusive with anyone else. There is something bizarre about that. So my moon like creates abuse. And so I'm thinking, well, if I'm always going to be abused, I might as well get this banker to abuse me and I can use it to expose him. See what I'm saying? I have to do things with this energy. Oh, he's going to abuse me. He's going to abuse me like no one else. I'm the one that makes people abuse me. I have a genius for getting people mad and abusive, especially people like that banker. Okay, so he fell into every trap my astrology created for him because I did not come up with any of this. Everything has been 100% guided. I am not any kind of special strategist. I am just a moon in the 12th house in Pisces. I can hear things and I'm so spiritual and the other side comes through no problem for me. So if I can get my orders, I will tell my banker enemies, I'm getting there, my open enemy, because my open enemy has been trying to be a hidden enemy, and that's the 12th house. And I want to move him to my 7th house as my open enemy, because astrology really does work. I have this horribly painful chart. What am I going to do? Maybe I can save the world with it because it's forcing so much tension, so many problems, not just for me, for others also. I'm this ball of problems. What can I do with that that's beneficial? Because as you can see, I have Jupiter in my 10th house. I'm very kind and I'm very benevolent and it's in Aquarius and I want to help the people so much. And I have all of this horrible tension, but ultimately it is benevolent. So there's a real chance to save the world here if we work together. That's the Aquarius, Jupiter and Aquarius. Aquarius is like the people. So it's right there. You guys will support me. You have dudes in my chart. It's all playing out. I want to go deep into the chart. And anyway, it's a great way to tell my story and have people understand that I'm not trying to hurt anyone at all. But I have these themes of Saturn in my chart, and please feel free to see that everything in my chart is about Saturn. So I'm just I'm imprisoned. I'm imprisoned by this banker and his cult, the system he's created. He's found a way to get the world so dependent on his scam, his Ponzi scheme scam, that he can order us to kill ourselves, and we'll kill ourselves for our jobs because money. It's a complete game he's playing. This is it's basically the Emperor from Star Wars and Mr. Burns, and he's really the dictator of the world. And I can't even imagine what is going on in his brain, or what motivates him, or how he could spend his whole life just killing people, his whole life. And I know he was born into that role, and I can't imagine what they did to him to make him like that. Um, but we're in a new world. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. This person who is the closest thing to, I don't want to call him what I think he is. It's such ugly words. Anyway, so hopefully we can get to the next level, and I would like to move him into the open enemies. So he's in my 7th house now, and he's the most famous enemy in the world. He's the richest person ever, and I don't think there's ever been anyone in the history of the world richer than him, and probably no one's ever come close to killing as many people, except maybe his father and his grandfather. I mean, that's it. You guys are my enemies. I have proven it. I'll tell you how I've proven it. I've proven it from the patterns in Clinton Cash. I've proven it from the patterns in the Podesta emails. Wow, the Podesta emails. Amazing. It is amazing. There's so many crimes in there. So many crimes in there. Okay, so just that all the crimes that are obviously in those emails were not investigated or dealt with in any way. Oh, and who does he work for? He works for the very same banker that I'm talking about, John Podesta. Incredible. So many crimes in there. It's astonishing. And then, so I looked at the patterns in the Podesta emails. Oh, just like my enemy. And then I looked at the patterns in the trial of Henry Kissinger, just like my enemy. And then I looked at the patterns in By Way of Deception by Victor Strasky. Anyway, I could just fly books at you for the patterns that my open enemy, banker enemy, likes to throw specifically at me. Okay? We got the patterns. We proved it. There is no question who my enemy is. And he is the most famous person ever. And I really want to draw people's attention to my chart, because who is in my 7th house but the sun, the most important central thing to everything that I am, everything I ever could be. I wouldn't live without the sun. My sun is in the 7th house. So my total focus is on either my enemy or my partner. And I'm trying to show you that it's in my chart, so you can see that astrology is definitely real, and that's definitely playing out in the project, and that's fascinating. So all of my focus is on my partner and my enemy, and they both have a lot in common. I'm trying to show you how astrology is amazing. So they're super famous. They're scorpionic, because Scorpio rules my 7th house. Well, with Scorpio, it's dark, it's mysterious. It can be death. It can be ambition and secrets, and being scheming and cunning and all that kind of stuff. So that's how my enemy is. That's how my partner is. It's really interesting. And that's how I am, because I'm the sun in Scorpio, but I'm like a partner, I'm like a twin. It's so interesting. Now here in my chart, I also have, next to the sun, Mercury. So everything involves thinking and expressing and communicating. Every single thing with my sun involves media. So the person in my 7th house has something to do with Scorpio. He's very ambitious, and he's some kind of big shot at media. It's really funny. It's all right there. But here, I'm lucky. Okay? I've got everything here. I'm miserable everywhere else, and I've got nothing. But here I have everything because I have a trine with the alignment between Mercury and the sun with that poor moon, that afflicted double Pisces moon, 12th house Pisces moon. I am a really good channel because of that. And that supports my interactions with my partner and my enemy, my Scorpios over there. And my Scorpios are very intuitive too, because Scorpio is like the other world or Hades or something. So it's also very spiritual, maybe in a dark way, but still spiritual. So I've got all this spiritual support here because that's a trine. And I also have a trine with that Saturn that I was talking about yesterday, that everything's pointing, that I have this big showdown with Saturn. And I have a trine with Saturn between this big shot in my 7th house, my partner and my enemy, and a trine to Saturn, which is in the middle of this endless showdown. So what's Saturn? Restrictions, teaching, discipline, perseverance. It could be structures, it could be banking, walls, things you can't do, delays. And it can be like older and wiser in a good way, but so the sun is trine that Saturn, which is constantly in a showdown. My partner and my enemy, you see, they're both like, don't mess with them. They're scary, but I'm lucky. I have the Saturn. Here, the Saturn works for me. I have the discipline and the perseverance to do what I need to do there. So it's a very famous hot spot, very powerful, very ambitious, and then very supported with this like emotional trauma and this like horrible Saturnine showdown. You see what I mean? Like all the problems are just feeding into it and helping this this huge this I want to call it an affair, but it's some kind of sick interaction between my partner and my enemy, who are all the same actually. It's really interesting. And my partner, it's Napoleon. It's my partner is Napoleon. Napoleon is like pretty Scorpio, pretty famous, very communicative. It's Napoleon is like the biggest person ever. My enemy, he's the biggest person ever, and then Cohen. It's all there. Anyway, I just wanted to show how cool that is. And yeah, he's going to be my open enemy. I want everybody to know that is my great enemy. It's so easy to figure it out. Just on the 0.0001% that I'm wrong, but I'm not. I'm not going to say his name, but it's so easy. This is the easiest blind item ever. And he doesn't get to do these things to me. Oh, but he's so rich and he has planes. Oh, what does he do with those planes? We need to ask him a lot of questions about what he puts in those planes. I worry about what he puts in those planes a lot. I really do. I worry about that Nexium school a lot also. These are things that I worry about. What are they doing? Okay? You cannot have these people above the law with the things they do. Oh my goodness, see, now I'm angry. So enough of that. Once I get angry, I can stop on that topic. So I went through these letters, and I'm trying to show you that Napoleon does sound a lot like Elvis Costello Cohen. And in the letters to Josephine, they sound just like songs. So it's really, I don't even know how to even explain it. So obvious. But in his letters to his stepdaughter, he becomes very cold over the years because he really knows that everybody thinks that there's an affair going on with her, and he knows that his letters are public information. So he's just saying, you're very affectionate father or something, and just conveying whatever he's wanting to convey. So I don't see the use in reading them, but it's very interesting. And I can't quite figure it out myself because I'm always suggesting that they're twin flames. And obviously they're father and daughter, so they're like father and daughter twin flames. So a twin is obviously a brother and a sister, and but they're father and daughter. It's weird. But when Napoleon abdicated from Fontainebleau in 1814, he I think he probably just had tried to kill himself or something. I mean, he was about as miserable as he could be. And he wrote a letter to Hortense. And this is like, I'm dealing with Napoleon 200 years later, and I kind of know his perspective now on these things, but he wanted her there. Let's just put it that way. And she was worried about her mother, and she was worried about her sons, and he just really wanted her there. This is kind of where it starts to unravel for us, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with me and my twin flame. And if he's my twin flame, we have multiple lifetimes and all these things, and I remember a few things. I can definitely tell he remembers other things, so I'm really fascinated by that idea. So this is one of those moments where, if it really is us, which it's hard to believe, but it obviously is. So if it is us, this is the point where things started to get bad between us, because all of these barrels that our great enemy throws at our feet to destroy our lives, he's been destroying our lives for centuries. And I hope you can understand my anger, and I do have a very difficult chart. And I am in a lot of pain, but he's been destroying our lives for a long time. And isn't it time that we start to ask why he destroys our lives? Don't you think it would be fair to us to care about ourselves enough to ask my great enemy why he doesn't think that we deserve to live, and why we don't deserve to have anything and he should have everything? I think we should start to ask questions like that of him, because there's no question that he like owns everything. Why don't we ever ask him about that? Because he bought the whole media to not ask him that question. We should just wise up, not fall for PR tricks anymore. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I went back into it. So I'm just going to get back to Napoleon. Sorry. I'm obsessive. Sun in Scorpio. You can't blame me, really, because I'm deeply obsessive. And I don't know how to be not obsessive. I'm obsessive about things. So the strange thing that happens here, I was rambling really bad. I'm sorry about that. But the point is, in the abdication moment, Napoleon writes this letter to Hortense. Nothing that interesting. But now it's your brother Napoleon. What happens there? I'm thinking about it. It goes from your very affectionate father. He always says your very affectionate father Napoleon. And then it's your brother Napoleon. So I'm going to read it. I don't have the answer. I wish I did, actually. Let's read that letter. My sister, I received a letter from you dated April 9th. I have received a second from Rambouillet the 16th. I thank you for the visit you paid the Empress and for the sentiments you expressed towards me. Let me know what becomes of you. Write me occasionally and believe in my constant regard for you. Your affectionate brother, Napoleon. I have given that a lot of thought. What happens? In such a different voice. He's like guilt tripping her almost. If you know Napoleon, he's not above the guilt trip. No way. He would do anything to get his way. That is a defining quality of Napoleon. That's how you know it's Napoleon. He's gonna get his way. That's why you have to support him. Everybody has to support him, because he is gonna get his way. if that's one thing we haven't learned. He's gonna get his way. Defining Napoleonic quality. And that's something we love about him because he's benevolent. We want him to get his way. I know I do. Anyway, we do our best. So I want to say some things about what I read in Cohen's memoirs yesterday, because I definitely hear what he's saying. I feel like there's a theme in the memoirs already that he talks about all the little ways that like our lives are sabotaged. He talked about how they were passing the brick of hashish around, obviously to get people interested in hashish. I could not possibly agree more if I interpreted the text appropriately. Anyway, so, and I have heard him say this story in some of the clips that I've seen about how his first communion, they made him confess and he made up sins. And, you know, he's basically saying that that's a racket because little kids don't do anything that bad. And basically, it's setting up a pattern. At least that's how I'm reading it. All right, so that's what we're talking about. The forced, the forced confessions of children. I've spoken with several Catholic friends who made the same idiotic forced confession rather than claim that their little souls were spotless. A couple of years later, the parish announced that the senior cardinal in the country had agreed to officiate at a confirmation mass. This ceremony assumes that the children have attained an understanding by which they can be confirmed and anointed in their faith. I think the parish just wanted to herd a flock of 9-year-olds through the gate simply because a cardinal was to do the laying on of hands. The sisters told the class that we must select a confirmation name, one that had no legal implication but would be sent on a printed list to Catholic HQ. Once selected, the name couldn't be changed. After the debacle of missionary baptisms, they knew the score. We could choose any saint's name we wished, but there would be no Saint Freddie and the Dreamers or Saint Jerry and the Pacemakers. We were even forbidden to choose Saint John or Saint Paul, because they knew whom we had in mind. Saint Ringo was right out. It seems the quiet one had escaped their notice completely. Sister Cecilia, the headmistress, collected a number of archangels. Gabriel and Michael were most popular, and a few straggling Patricks and Christophers. As far as I can tell, none of the girls wanted to adopt Saint Scylla or the Blessed Lulu. Came my turn. My mind went blank. My dad had told me to say Lawrence, a sentimental choice based on the patron saint of his own school parish, but I could only think of Lawrence of Arabia and knew that couldn't be right. He didn't seem like a saint, even though he looked good in white. George, I blurted out. I knew it was wrong as soon as I'd said it, but my mind had gone blank. Now I was going to get it for being cheeky, choosing a Beatle name. But no, Sister Cecilia just wrote it down and went on to the next child. I think he's cheeky. That's for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to my mini rants tonight. I hope you have a very